Our final preparations are underway for the Holy Father's trip next week to Mongolia. Pope Francis will be the first pope ever to visit the East Asian country. Mongolia has a population of around 3.5 million people. The majority are Buddhist, very few are Catholic. EWTN News Vatican Correspondent Colm Flynn has more.
A very good evening, Tracy, from Ulaanbaatar, the capital city of Mongolia. Well, this is an expansive and vast country, but with a very small population, only about 3.4 million people. And of that 3.4 million people, a tiny percentage is Catholic. We're talking around 1,000 people. And yet this is where Pope Francis will arrive in less than a week and spend a number of days meeting the Catholics here and the missionaries who have helped to rebuild the church here in the past 30 years. Because remember, after the collapse of communism and when Mongolia was under Soviet rule, when that ended in 1992, religious orders were able to come back to Mongolia. And it was only 3 religious missionaries, Catholic missionaries, 2 from the Philippines, 1 from Belgium, who came and they started from scratch. When you look at the religious community here, there are around only 80 priests and nuns, 80 in total, and most of them are foreign missionary workers. Only 2 are actually Mongolian. And talking to them today, Tracy, we've been able to get a fascinating insight into how the Catholic Church here operates and the great challenges that it faces in Mongolia today, because even though in the country's constitution they claim to have religious freedom, things like obtaining visas for missionary workers who want to come to the country, Catholic ones, can be quite difficult. They're often rejected, whereas other religions like Buddhism and shamanism, their visas go unhindered. And then when you look at people trying to obtain permits to build new churches or to build auxiliary buildings in the Catholic Church, many of those permits as well are blocked. So the challenges are great. But we met a Catholic family today who live in the capital city, the Augustina family, a husband and wife and a son and daughter. And I asked them what made a Mongolian family convert to the Catholic Church when it's not in their tradition, it's not in their culture. And they told me, Colm, we grew up under communism when the Soviets were in power here, and we know what it is like to have no religion in any shape or form. So now they hold very dearly and with great value their Catholic faith. And they said, Colm, simply, we see the truth in it. So they, of course, are looking forward very much to the visit of Pope Francis. But when he comes here, it may be a small church. It is vibrant with the people that it does have, and also does incredible work in its outreach. Many people live here in poverty in the capital city, 1.5 million people, half of the population of the country. So it is the Catholic Church who is looking after those most vulnerable and those most in need. For example, with one of the biggest orphanages in the city. But it will be fascinating to see, Tracy, what this visit of Pope Francis, the Holy Father, will do for the Catholic Church and the Catholic community here in the country and for the wider country of Mongolia in general. We'll be covering it here and we'll talk to you again over the next few days. But until now, in Mongolia, this is Colm Flynn for EWTN News Nightly.